Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back, everybody, to the next edition of the Tech Rich Games podcast. I am your host, iAreCade, and I am here with my co-host, KingKoopa.
Hey!
This episode, Cheeses was not with us. He's gonna return on the next episode, but he wasn't able to make the call in, so it'll just be us doing a duo this podcast.
Yep.
So first off, just want to see what you've been playing, Goober. I'm sure I know the answer, but just to let our listeners know what you've been up to.
All I've been playing is Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yep, pretty much the same here as well. I'm trying to think if I've played anything else for like a little bit, but I don't believe so. I think it's just been COD ever since it came out. On and off, play a couple matches here and there because you kind of do get a little frustrated.
Yeah, you get pissed off, you want to get off.
And then you go right back like after 30 minutes because you're just like, I need my next fix, man. It's like,
yep.
Give me that next hit.
Yep, it's a guilty pleasure and a bad habit. Sure
is. It's like a drug. I would also say it could be like a really bad relationship. Call of Duty,
Yeah.
Let me explain this analogy, right? Okay. So this game comes out called Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and you're like, damn. That's sexy. I like this game, right? You kind of start crushing a little bit. You kind of start talking to them around World at War, you know what I'm saying? And then, bam, Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and y'all get serious, right? Y'all start dating and everything. Then
did you rehearse this whole bit here?
Let me finish. Then comes Black Ops 1, and you're just like, okay, there's a little hiccup here. Sniping's not as great, but, everyone has flaws. It's still a good game. It's still overall a good game. Just a little hiccup. And then Modern Warfare 3 comes out. You're like, okay, not still okay, still pretty good. Still having fun, you know what I'm saying? Then Black Ops 2 comes out. You're like, oh man, I'm really falling in love, Might get serious again, might take it to that next level. And then the new gen system comes out. Call of Duty Ghost comes out, and it's okay. You kind of hit that plateau. You're just kind of cruising in the relationship. You're just kind of like, you kind of settled. You're like, yeah, I know this person well. It's been the same for the past 10 years or whatever it might have been. Starts getting stale. Not as excited. And then Advanced Warfare comes out. You're like, who's this person? Who am I in this relationship with?
What's happening?
Who are you anymore? And y'all kind of take a little break. Y'all kind of call things off. Try to figure out who each other is. And Black Ops 3 comes out. And y'all get back together. Like, wow. I found myself. You found yourself. It's different. It's new, but it's really exciting. It's really fun again. And, you're in it. You're head over heels, And then Infinite Warfare comes out.
And ruined everyone's dreams.
And you're like, what the hell happened? Like, you are not who you say you are anymore.
We were happy.
Who are you? Yeah, we were having such a good time. We were in love. And then this happens. And World War II comes out, and you're like, I don't know, man. It's not the same anymore.
I liked World War II though.
It's not the same. It's starting to get back to where, they were first in the relationship. They're like, let me backtrack. Let me go back to the way it was in the beginning. Boots on the ground again. And you were like, man, I thought I liked this, but I don't know if I really like this. And then Black Ops 4 comes out and you're just like, I can get used to the boots on the ground a little bit. It's a little quicker.
But with the futuristic twist.
It's picked up in pace and speed. It's exciting. It's energetic. It's fast paced. It's fluid. Having a good time, and then this game comes out. And you don't know what to do with yourself anymore. You're on your last straw, your last leg. You have your good days, you have your bad days. And that's Call of Duty in a nutshell, man.
That is it. Very well said.
I appreciate it.
One long, confusing relationship. That's right.
One long relationship. About as half our lives, man. We've been playing this series, so we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot with Call of Duty, but like I kind of explained, it's kind of all over. You have your good days on it. You have your bad days. You're like, man, this is really fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a great time, and then you're like, I want to delete this game and break my PlayStation.
It's never gotten to that point for me yet, but don't get me wrong. I mean, I get mad, but what I do is I just force myself to muster through it. I continue on, and I just go into that next match. I haven't wanted to delete it yet, but I'm sure it might come.
I think the first weekend was the worst for me. It was like, dude, heated. I am heated.
That was the worst. Because it took because we were so used to, I played the beta a lot, you played the beta a lot, we were so used to it. And then, towards the end of the beta weekend, I was doing great, never hardly went negative. I had that, that pace that I was at. Then the beta went away for however long, what was it, about a month, 2 months? And I went go play Destiny for a while, took a break, I come back when the game released, and it was like I was starting all over again.
It was a little rough in the beginning. But they did a few little updates here and there, like small little tweaks. So that helped a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
Also, too, in the beginning, I know it happened to a lot of people out there, but my leveling was bugged. So when the first few matches I played, I had to play for almost 30 minutes before I was able to create a class, because I stayed at level 1 for almost 30 minutes of game time. I would say, because it just was really glitched out in the beginning.
And it takes a while to level up in this game. It's not really that quick.
But my bar wasn't moving at all. That's the thing though. I watched it. I did decent in a few matches, then got 0 XP. It was crazy. Glad that's fixed now, though.
Yeah, there's still a lot that they need to do in this game, but we'll get into that. Because the first thing I want to talk about is this interview that the developers of Modern Warfare did with Game Informer. They had a little interview talking about the game and everything, and a few questions, were asked about the game. They asked about the balance in the multiplayer, and let's see, it was the studio narrative director Taylor Kurosaki and multiplayer design director Joe Seikote. I don't know if I pronounced those correctly. I apologize if I didn't, but they were talking about the game with Game Informer's Brian Shea. And they doubled down on the importance of getting new players into the game. So listen to this, and I quote, "We want to get new players in the game. We don't want them to get punched in the mouth over and over again until they leave," says Seikote. "That's a big focus for us. Our weapons are a bit more lethal than in Black Ops, and that helps a lower skill player get a kill and have some success. This decision also affected the design of the maps," says Seikote. "We want those players to have a safe place to take their time." Cooper, what's your thoughts on this?
Okay, let me start here. Okay, first one, you want to have the player to have a better chance, or I should say faster chance at killing someone. Well, you see, when you're going against somebody, especially a sweaty palm guy running around with an M4, jumping and completely demolishing you in 2 shots, how is that going to make a new player want to continue to play this game when they just get shit on constantly? And it's not even just the good players. Average players will shit on new players too if they never played Call of Duty before.
Or as soon as they walk through a fucking door, they're getting blown up by a
I was
claymore.
about to say this. And the second thing he says, you're like on Gronza Raid or something like that, or even you go play Ground War. You walk out in the open. He said a safe place. You walk out in the open, you're dead. There is no safe place.
That's why you stay in one place. You don't walk out. I'm pretty sure that's what they're meaning when they say
Hey, that's what they want you to do. They want the new players.
You hold down one little room that has 3 doors. You put your 2 claymores down at one of those doors, and you look at the other one.
725.
You just stare there until a door opens, and you replace the claymore, and then you continue watching down that 3rd door or that window. I'll probably have the video of me. I did this game for science. I did a match where I had a 725 shotgun, which we'll talk about in a little bit, a riot shield, claymore, smoke grenade, and with restock in perk 2, which allows you to have a recharge rate on your lethal equipment, so your claymores. And also, I can't remember what the 3rd perk is, but it allows you to take 2 equipment. So what you do in Ramaza, in Cafe, in like the little kitchen area, there's the 3 doors that you can close. You keep them closed, you put 2 claymores on 2 of those doors, and you stare at that 3rd door. You are invincible. You will not die. As long as you make sure those doors are closed, and you have a claymore, and your claymores are placed in front of them, you will not die. It's impossible. Like, this game is so broken. And the fact that it allows you to do this and rewards you with kill streaks is beyond belief. I was able to go, I sat there the whole game, didn't move out that room, and went 13-0 and got all 3 of my streaks. I ended up getting a UAV, a VTOL jet, and the chopper gunner.
It's unreal. It really is.
It's ridiculous. But that was my science experiment. I wanted to see how like, if I could stay the whole match, basically. I just wanted to see if I'd be able to stay the whole match without dying, seeing how busted that class can be. And I will say it's stupid busted.
And that is what we see all the time when we play. Last night we all played together. Us, me, Cade, a couple of friends.
Ramaza is the worst map.
Yep.
On 66.
We all had that last night.
Due to that. At least St. Petrograd has, like, you know, I mean, they have windows that you can look like mid-map, but at least you can't just stay stuck in there and be completely protected by doors. They need to remove doors. I'm sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, I think that would be what's best too, but that's definitely not going to happen.
No. But if they would open up that little cafe area without doors, it could be a little better. I think shotguns are still going to be a problem in it, but at least you want to be able to just camp in there the whole time. And I mean, you probably still could, to be honest, but at least you'd probably be able to be shot from outside, you know.
Yeah.
It would at least be a step in the right direction. But that shotgun needs to be nerfed.
Oh,
the 725 double barrel is busted.
Yep.
It is basically a sniper rifle.
It's a sniper shotty, that's for sure.
With a spread, with pellet spread. It is probably the most powerful gun in the game. It shoots way too far. I don't know if you saw this video. I'm going to try to find it and put it on the YouTube video of this podcast. But there was a guy, I think I saw it on Twitter, but there was a guy who was playing Ground War. And he shot his double barrel shotgun across the map and killed someone across the map.
In Ground War.
In Ground War on Quarry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've heard a YouTuber that I watch say, he says, you know, it's realistic to the point where in real life, shotgun pellets do travel far, especially if you're using buckshot. And from what I've seen and what he said, the 7.25 uses buckshot. I'm not sure if all the shotguns do, but 7.25 uses buckshot. So that's why it's the longest range shotgun in the game. And if you put a scope on there, no matter what, I mean, depending on the scope, you get a little boost in range. So it's like Kate said, you're shooting across the map and you're getting a kill with a shotgun with buckshot. Sure, in real life, I'm sure it could happen, but it also maybe couldn't happen either. And it's just a little ridiculous.
Not an immediate one shot kill, not like dead on impact.
No, like I mean, you'd hurt him, you get some pellets stuck in him, but I mean
the ground war was ridiculous. It should not travel that far to begin with.
Yeah, that's really far.
In regular pubs, like you shouldn't be able to snipe with it.
To me, I think it should be a one-shot kill because it's a shotgun. It's a strong double-barrel shotgun. Up close and maybe even medium range, definitely a one-shot kill.
Yeah,
but when you're getting to like AR range or even sniper range and it's killing one shot, that is
sniping me with an AX-50.
That is completely uncalled for. They need to take rid of that. They need to get rid of it for sure. With that, that's enough of it.
They need to nerf the range on it. I'm okay with the power. I mean, like you said, it's a shotgun. I understand it's got to be powerful up close, but it should not have range. And I think that's the biggest problem whenever they have shotguns as primary weapons in Call of Duties is that they always are so powerful.
What is that other one? The first one, is it the M60? No, the M12 or something like that shotgun. The first one you get.
Is it the
black one? The pump, yeah.
Yeah.
That one actually has a good bit of range too. Not as much as the 7.25, but that one has the second most range out of all.
That one does.
And that one packs a punch as well.
But the fire rate's a lot lower. At least with the double barrel, it's like, the double barrel is like, like you're dead.
Yeah,
like no matter what. Like if you live the first shot, you're not living the second one.
No,
for sure. But it all boils down to the map layout. Like with all the close quarters. Like, you're just going to have an overabundance of shotguns regardless. I don't know. Everything boils down to just how bad the maps are laid out. I think if they remove doors, it would be a little better. Too many windows, personally. Especially in certain maps like Petrograd. Piccadilly is just bad for respawns. The spawns need to be fixed. There's a lot that needs to be addressed in this game before I would say it's a good game.
You're very right.
Yeah. Right now, I would say it's okay. It's playable depending on game mode and map. But other than that, I mean, like it has potential. I will say that. I'm sure we had mentioned it when we talked about the beta in episode 1. The gunplay is fantastic. It just needs to be balanced for sure.
Yes.
And the fact that the spawns are broken makes certain maps really unplayable.
Oh yeah.
In certain game modes, as I said. So going back to this interview, there was actually some pro players that commented on it, and they weren't too happy about it either. So right here, Matthew Formal Piper says that expressed in his dismay that people were paid to make these maps. And then Matthew Nadeshot Haig, CEO of 100 Thieves, says in a tweet, "Gunplay on Modern Warfare is great, but the maps are horrendous."
Yep.
So it is not just us saying that. It is actual pros who are, of course, being paid to play this game. But, man, what a year it will be if you just don't like this game.
Yeah, I mean they're all gonna hate it and have to have no choice but play it and have to deal with all the bullshit that they hate about it with the other teams using against them.
Yeah. Now, granted, in competitive Call of Duty, they do gentlemen agree a lot of items and equipment and perks and stuff like that aren't naturally in the rule set that Activision or Infinity Ward, I should say, put in place for competitive. So if you go and play ranked play whenever it becomes live on the game, or if you go to play like game battles, there is gonna have a little bit of different ban list. So like shotguns would be banned, and I'm sure there's some other stuff that I don't know off the top of my head. I didn't
probably
really
like
look.
the snapshot grenade. I would think would be banned.
Like stuff like that.
Like
stuff that rocket launchers, stuff that is always banned in like every single competitive aspect. But when it comes to professional Call of Duty, they can gentlemen agree if unanimously or the majority vote. I don't know exactly how they go about this, but if they all agree or most of them agree on something, they can ban it. And I mean, that could be something just as simple as like an attachment or a certain equipment or a perk, that might be normally allowed. So they do have a bit more power and say so than everyone else. Because like if I'd be playing like game battles or something and there was like a certain item that you could use that I didn't like, I would just have to deal with it, because I can't just say, hey, let's all unanimously like not use this, because it's at the end of the day it's allowed. So
yeah,
it's a little bit better for them on their end, but they still got to play the maps.
Yep, and they're still gonna hate it.
they can't gentlemen agree maps, but they can vote during matches of which maps to play and which ones they don't. So we'll see how many of them are going to end up playing.
Only the maps from the beta.
Only the maps from the beta, yeah. I mean, granted, as much as I hate Piccadilly and Respawn because of how trash A-Side is, it's not bad for Search and Destroy.
Right.
It's a pretty decent Search and Destroy map.
Sometimes you have good games on there where it's not too bad, but it's not very often. When I say sometimes, I'm very lenient with those words, because it is very, very a low chance that I have an enjoyable game where I'm not immediately wanting to back out because of how much I hate that map. And what I find what's weird is a lot of people don't like what is the map with the bridge? I can never remember the name.
Euphrates Bridge.
Yeah, a lot of people. I see a lot of people on YouTube and stuff like that. They talk shit about it, say how much that they hate it. They say it's worse. They say it's worse than Piccadilly, but it's definitely not worse than Piccadilly.
Well, the thing
it's fun to snipe on, at least.
Yeah, the thing about Piccadilly is that if you're playing Respawn, it's really trash. If you're playing S&D, it's okay. And as soon as if you're on A side, you're just like, all right, well, I'm fucked. Like, it's so easy to get spawn trapped because they only have two ways of getting out of there besides just running up the street. They have the right to the car garage or in that little business building, and then they have the arcade. But there's always people camping right there, just
in the arcade, trap you, pushing you. Yep.
So they're not letting you out, And then Euphrates Bridge, the bad thing about that is that you don't even have to be in the spawn to kill people. You could just be on the bridge watching them spawn.
That is very true.
So, at the end of the day, I think Euphrates Bridge is the worst map than Piccadilly. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm not a big fan of the 10v10 regardless.
No, definitely not.
I don't like.
I always forget that map.
10v10 is okay, but not with the maps given. Granza Raid is like the only decent 10v10 map. And
even Granza Raid. Even Granza Raid. Sometimes I don't really like it all that much. It aggravates me to play on it sometimes, just because of like running out in the open is always such a problem on that map, and like you're usually
especially
dead.
By that little construction.
Oh man.
Playground site area.
Yeah, dude, there's always people camping in windows and broken windows in that game, in that map.
Yeah, it's a problem, but that's what happens when you cater to trying to give new players a chance to have a safe space to chill and just kill people as they walk past them.
That's so stupid to say. It's like
the way it was worded was very stupid.
Yeah, dude, like you're gonna have people that are new to the game, sure, but the majority of the people that are gonna play this game are people that's played COD before. It's not like your whole player base, or like 90% of your player base is gonna be new players. It won't be. It's gonna be 90% of your players is gonna be your diehard COD fans who wait for it every year.
Yeah.
Man, that looked bad on their part for sure.
And here's what I have to say about that. Like I I get it. You want to have a bigger player base. You want to expand on it. You want newer people or people who have played it back in the day. You want them to come back. You want them to start playing Call of Duty for the first time. They're new to the series, or they're kind of rusty. They haven't played since COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, or whatever it may be. They haven't played since before PlayStation 4 came out. Something like that. I get that you want to cater to those people a little bit, but you got to find a balance of trying to please. I know it's hard to do. You have to try to please everyone, is what I'm going to say, but it's really hard to do that. But
especially as a developer.
Yeah, and I get that. And developing is not easy. So, I don't want to take anything away from, they spent 3 years on this game. It can't be done in a day.
No.
But you got to think about it like this. I mean, every Call of Duty since the inception of the franchise has been someone's first Call of Duty.
That's right.
Right? So, the first time I owned a Call of Duty that I played was Modern Warfare 2 on PS3. I played a little bit of zombies, at Chaz and Andrews whenever before Modern Warfare 3 came out. I played it there, kind of got my feet wet playing a little bit of the online there with COD 4 and World at War. But MW2 is when I really first started. And I wasn't good. I was really trash at the game. But I had to learn. I had to figure out the game for myself without the help from the developers. And granted, World War II had some pretty OP guns. They had the Akimbo Rangers, the Model 1887s. Intervention was rampant all over the game. The time to kill was pretty high in that game too. But you had to learn the game. You had to learn how to shoot. You couldn't hide behind cover. You couldn't mount on the walls or barrels or whatever it may be. You had to learn how to use your gun with recoil. You had way less attachments. I mean, you just had to learn to play the game. And that's something that they're not allowing new players to do with this game. It's, okay, as soon as you spawn, find the first piece of a building or a barrel, sit there with your gun mounted, and wait.
Yep.
Or run inside a building, close the door behind you, and sit there with a shotgun.
And wait.
Yep. Oh, don't forget to put your claymore by that door in case they come from behind you.
I mean, dude, it's crazy too. Is whenever we all played Black Ops 3 so much, and I understand it's a faster paced game, jetpacking. I get it all, but dude, there was never a time where any of us would sit there and camp. And if we did, it's because we heard somebody and we were waiting for him to come and we were gonna kill him. But other than that,
you were on your 20th kill and you're just like, oh god, or
yeah,
something, and you're run away from a score streak, so you're playing really slow,
dude,
defensively, trying to make sure no one's coming after you. And
you see, I like to run and gun. That's my favorite play style.
Same,
and in Black Ops 3,
aggressive.
that's all I did with Black Ops 3 was run and gun. Subs are my favorite kind of guns to use also. So in this game, running and gunning is you can do it, but at the same time, you can run and gun, but you have to be very careful when you do it. It's weird. And when you go from a super sprint to aim down sight speed, it's so much slower than going from a regular sprint to a aim down sight speed. So it's dude, you're at such a disadvantage in this game. Yeah, it's a drawback,
So you gotta use it wisely when you want to.
So that's what I don't like. I like the game. I like different parts about the game. The thing I don't like about the game is how they forced it. It's cool for change. Change is fine, but they forced everyone to go into one play style instead of letting everyone just do whatever play style they want to have. It's we're all forced into being camping corners, aiming, mounting corners, aiming corners, always being careful. That's what we're all forced to do. And some people love to play like that.
And it completely rewires the way you've been trained for years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I got in this game, it was so hard to change because, they say, old habits die hard, and it was so hard for me to adjust to this game. But now I'm adjusted to it. So if I try to go back to another COD, I feel like it would just be so weird,
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm in the same boat. I'm a very aggressive, usually a submachine gun player. And then the subs in this game, I mean, the MP5 and the MP7's good.
That's the best ones for sure.
Their damage output isn't as good as an assault rifle.
No,
obviously. But even at close range, you're just gonna get destroyed by an M4. 2 bullets, you're dead from that thing. and then everyone's running around with shotguns. So what are you gonna do with that? You're just gonna tickle them.
Yeah,
So a submachine gun has like no place in this game except for competitive, really.
I've also noticed
pubs to practice with it because you're gonna just get destroyed because none of these maps are really meant. A lot of them don't have a submachine gun layout.
No, not at all.
Like to flank. There's nowhere to do anything. It's just you might as well just chill in a building.
Hey, in this game, either use an M4 or 7.25 in there, because there's nothing else.
Maybe
there's nothing else. Yeah, maybe a sniper on certain maps.
That's it, dude.
It's frustrating, but at the same time, like we all said before, like we're gonna want to keep playing because, like I said, as much as I bitch about the game, I genuinely like the game. Like I love the realism. I love all the attachments. I love how realistic anything and everything in this game is. The reload animations, when you shoot a shotgun, it's the barrel's smoking, or any of the guns really. I love all of that. That's awesome. They did their thing with that. All the
minute details and everything about it is
it's amazing. Like, it's phenomenal.
It's a really great detailed game. They really put a lot of thought and effort into how can we make this game look great. How can we make it feel like you're actually in a war?
Yeah.
I mean, the sound is great, although it is very, very loud.
Oh yeah,
very loud. Footsteps do need to be a little tuned. They are way too loud. That's another problem, and that's another reason why people tend to camp in this game is because they hear everybody, so they're gonna wait to see where they're at and just, instead of running around. So it kind of nudges them a little bit more to kind of stay in one spot or one area. And overall though, I mean it's a good game. Well, I said it wasn't good earlier, but it's a fine game. It has high potential.
I have one thing I'll say. The recoil in this game is strange, and the fact is a good buddy of ours, Andrew. If you're out there, Andrew, hello there. Me and him talked about this the other day. How from like you're looking at someone and you're shooting them. Okay, you seem to like you get 2 bullets off maybe to hit them, but then it feels like they hit you in one shot, and you're like, oh well, they must have used a sniper. When you watch the kill cam, they're like. Yeah, or a MP5 or something. They're using MP5 and like they kill you so quickly, or like a M4. They're killing you so quickly, and yeah, it's like, and it's crazy to see that. But then you see like on my screen, it looks like my recoil is all crazy and I can't kill him. Then on his screen, it's like he has a laser beam, and the person just. Yeah, and they just completely kill me in like 2 seconds with a damn laser beam.
That's usually how
it's so weird.
But yeah, there was some other part of that interview where he did mention that their guns are more lethal than Black Ops, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's I don't like that dude must have never played Call of Duty in his life. If he's saying that,
Infinity Ward games always tended to be a little more powerful. I think.
Yeah, like the time to kill was faster.
Yeah, and also that, and then also Black Ops 4 had 150 health, and you were able to heal with the stim pack like really quickly. Where even the stim packs in this game are kind of pointless, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I like to use stim shots, but they really.
But if I'm getting shot by a shotgun, I have no time to heal.
Oh, no, there's no way with that. But I'm saying, like, they're handy for certain tight situations, especially when you want to heal and get back in the action.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather have it. I don't... I mean, I'll use a flash or a smoke from time to time, depending on game mode or situation, but...
The stim shot's still kind of, like, burned into my brain from when I played Black Ops 4. So, like... That whole healing, like, just then, you just kind of want to do it still.
Yeah, and then like I'll have one class that has it and another class that doesn't. So like I'll go and I'll end up flashing myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happens.
That's always great.
Another thing I like about the stim shot is that how it regenerates your super sprint. So that way, like, if I'm running like the double time blue perk to like when I'm playing really aggressive and trying to get to cap flags, like I'll start from spawn, I'll super sprint, then like if I'm trying to get to B first, then I'll stim myself, get my super sprint back, and then make it all the way to B before the other players and be able to kind of kill them first. That's why another thing I was going to say I liked about the stim shot, it's really helpful in a lot of situations.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I like it. It's just, I guess because of how fast you die in this game, it almost sometimes seems pointless.
For sure, you're right.
But it's situational. But I want to go back to Joe Seikote. I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. But in another article on Dexerto, I think, is that how you pronounce it? Dexerto? I don't know.
I'm guessing.
Joe had tweeted getting it. I'm assuming this is legit. This is on the article, so we'll see. It says, excited to get the footstep tuning in live along with these other changes. More updates in the works. More restricted player call-out logic. Prevent enemies from hearing call-outs in all modes, which I don't know why they didn't think of that from the beginning. It's so stupid.
That is something that should be implemented from the beginning of the design when you're doing that.
Yeah, like the enemy shouldn't hear your call-outs. Like,
I guess maybe the only thing I could think of, they wanted that realistic aspect, because in real life you're hearing call-outs.
Obviously, but
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of.
He knows where I'm at. Let me see. Oh, look, there he is. Boop.
Yeah, it's like, oh, enemy's close, and you're like, oh, look, he's right around this corner here.
Yeah, because then you can just hear their voice and know exactly where they're at. But more restricted player call-out logic also makes sense. Like, if they can adjust it to where, like, it actually makes sense. Like, if you're playing iAreCade and they're like, enemies at the cave entrance, it's like, which entrance?
Yeah, you don't know.
There's 3 entrances and then the well.
Yeah, you don't know which one.
No, 4. Because there's that little, I guess that's technically not an entrance, but
there's
5 different ways in and out.
I would count
3
it.
entrances.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say 5 for sure. Yeah.
There's 5 total, but there's 3 actually like ground level in and out.
Yeah.
So obviously, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
I don't know how you would fix that, but
I mean, that'd be something you can't really say north, south, east entrance, because I mean it all depends.
Well,
where
that's what they want us to do with a stupid compass at the top of our fucking screen.
True that, yeah.
Instead of a fucking mini map like it's been for the last 14, 15 years.
Yeah, I know. And we'll get on to. We're gonna have to talk about prestiging a little later.
Yes, because I finally reached past level 55.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
So you can't say I haven't played this game. I've put well more than 24 hours into this bad boy.
Yeah, I think I'm 68 now. So yeah, me too.
He also goes on to add challenge system fixes. So I guess that's some of like your challenge and your mission
that weren't
and stuff
working.
like that aren't working, because there was some people that said it wasn't working. I had one where I wasn't getting public match wins. I ended up winning like 3 matches and none of them
counted.
Worked. But then like the next day it ended up popping. So I don't know. It must have just been like that day. It just kind of didn't work.
Yeah.
I guess it just hits when it wants to. Some weapon tuning, and then some spawn updates.
Whatever weapon tuning could mean.
That could be power adjustments, recoil, anything like that.
Well, let's hope.
Which, speaking of recoil, going back to that topic.
Oh, yeah.
We have so much to say, guys. We have so much to talk about with this game.
So much to talk about.
There was a video that I saw. Was it one of us that posted it in a chat, or maybe I just saw it online? But there was one where this guy was testing out recoil on gun, and some of them didn't make any sense. So usually the way it normally works in every other game that you have guns that you shoot, you're standing up, you have the most recoil. You crouch, you have less recoil. And if you're prone, you have very, very little recoil. That's usually how it goes. But in this game, there are certain weapons that have more recoil when you're crouched than you do if you're standing.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's fixed. I can't speak on that. But that is what someone did encounter, and they tested it. They had a video of them shooting every gun like in a row, and seeing the recoil from them standing compared to when they were crouched. If I remember, I'll put it in the description if I could find it. But it was mind-boggling about some of the stuff in this game. A lot.
As far as the recoil, there was one thing I could say. I watched a guy. Another thing is his name is The Exclusive Ace. He's a YouTuber that I watch for COD and stuff. He did like a recoil attachment video, breaking down like because the difference between recoil stability and recoil stabilization and recoil control. And he had showed it showed a pattern, and like all the recoil is vertical, and then like the subs tend to go maybe a little more side to side plus vertical. Well, I'm not gonna go into it, but his ending topic was the fact that the best recoil control for any kind of automatic weapon was the commando grip mixed with the compensator muzzle. Yeah. And he said it tightens the recoil at like the most amount. And ever since I watched this video, I ran that on my MP7 and my other stuff, and his testing was very right.
So I think all in all, our thoughts on the game is that we enjoy it. We enjoy our time with it. Well, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but me personally, I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying it a lot more now after this 24-hour threshold, this week later threshold. I'm enjoying it a lot more now than when I did during launch. Like I said, though, they did do some updates and tweaks since then. They were pretty good on getting a few patches in that launch weekend, which really helped. They added a couple game modes, even though I don't know why they just didn't do it day one or whatever, but they did. Over the course of the launch weekend, they released some stuff, but overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to use the best adjectives I can because I don't love it. I'm a little less more than like it. It's okay. But I'm enjoying myself. So I guess that's still good in the long run. I'm just very frustrated a lot of times with it, and that's what's keeping me from loving it. But if they address a lot of these issues that we've been talking about, and we mentioned even professional players have been talking about, this game has a high ceiling, like a stupid high ceiling. Like this could be the best Call of Duty we've ever seen. People were saying it was really good in the beta, but that was also before they brought in a lot of stuff. I don't think the 725 was in the beta at all.
No, it wasn't.
And that was also before. I mean, everything that happened in the beta was spawns. That's what we wanted, them to fix spawns, and they still have not fixed spawns.
Right.
So hopefully, I mean, I'm sure they're collecting a whole bunch of data and seeing what's up with the spawns, and they're gonna fix it. But it's a process. They can't do it overnight. I mean, it's only been a week that the game's been out. Give it some time. I mean, it's the day we're recording is November 4th, so the end of the month, Black Friday, pick it up if it's on sale. I would say if you're interested in it. I'm sure by then it's gonna be better. I'm sure by then they're going to have addressed a lot more stuff. I'm sure by the time next year comes around, this game could be a completely different game. It could be phenomenal, or it could be worse. I don't know. We'll see. That's the thing.
We'll see. Yep, you're right.
But,
and I feel the same way as you. I've been enjoying myself. I can say it's okay. I could also say I actually do like it a lot of the time. I love the beta, though. I will say this. I did love the beta. The only problem I had was spawns. Everything else I really did love about it. I also found a lot of guns in the beta. Maybe not a lot, but a few were different in the beta than they are now. And that could just be
me. Like the MP7 and the MP5 actually being viable?
Yeah, that and like the AUG. I remember when I used to use the AUG in the beta, especially the second weekend in the beta, I would just straight shit on people. I didn't have problems with it, no recoil control, nothing, and time to kill either. Then now when I got in this game, I used the AUG. I upgraded it quite a bit, and like, dude, I can't, like, I don't find it's good anymore.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with this game, when it comes to the gunplay, is that a lot of these guns need attachments to be usable.
Oh, definitely.
But it takes so long to unlock certain attachments that you need.
And you have to just go through the hurdles.
And you just have to go through just
dying so
being
much
shit on because your recoil is really bad, or
we're looking at you AK-47
or whatever it may be. You know, so you just have to grind it. It's a really grindy COD, which I mean is fine. Like I like that. You know, I grinded. I got gold on my AX50. I grinded that shit out, but it was not quick. I mean, there's 100 different camos that you have to unlock before you can get gold, and then you have to get, 100 on each weapon in that class before you can get platinum, and then you have to do that on every single weapon in the game in order to get whatever the last one is. Not dark matter, but it's something else this game.
And I feel like they had to do the whole very high weapon level and 100 camos because
there's like 70 something different attachments.
I feel like they had to do that because we don't have a prestige system anymore. So they had to do something to give it a grind. And I get it. They wanted to make it different where you don't prestige, but you know what? I guarantee you, not many people like it.
I mean, I'm fine with it because at this point, with how slow it is to level up in this game and level up your weapons, I would hate to re-unlock all that again. So for me, it's okay. And then whenever you level up, it gives you like a new, like an objective to kind of do. Like, let's say it's like 5 headshots or something. It gives you a little XP bonus, and you get like a little.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's like a ribbon or something you unlock, something like that. I just looked into it earlier before the podcast since I hit level 55, I'm like 58 now, but it's like operator ribbons or something like that, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what it is that I just saw the potential in it during the beta, and I was just like, if they have this much potential and they have this X amount of time to fix the stuff that people were complaining about in the beta, on launch it could be really good. But on launch it was not very good.
No.
And it took about a week for it to be playable.
Yeah.
But the way it is now is that you almost have to have a shotgun on your class.
Yep.
You can still have your SMG, you can still have your AR, your sniper, whatever you want to use, but like you have to run overkill and use a shotgun in close quarters, especially on certain maps like Ramaza. If you're playing Ramaza without a shotgun, good luck. Just don't go in the cafe, basically.
Yeah, for real. And I'm sure it's everywhere. I'm sure other people in other regions, all kind of regions, are having the same problem with shotguns because I've seen it on YouTube, Reddit. I've seen people talk about it, but I know we've had a lot of run-ins with it for sure in our region.
And there's probably a lot of people out there that they love running around with shotguns. It's really fun. I get it. This is what the unfortunate thing is that this is the best way for you to actually feel like you're playing a normal COD by running around with a shotgun. That's the only way you can really be aggressive and run and gun is with a shotgun.
That's right.
And I think that's why a lot of people are tend to using it as well, is because it makes you feel like you're playing a normal COD. But honestly, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I hate myself for saying it because I usually never use shotguns, but it's almost like you're doing something you're not supposed to. Like it's like a forbidden fruit or something. So that's Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's it. It's sad.
That's the Call of Duty we're living in 2019. Who would have thunk? But we can only hope that they fix a lot of the things that the community is reaching out to Infinity Ward about. There's a lot of people tweeting about it, posting it on Reddit, YouTube comments, everything like that. I'm sure people they're getting emails, and they got to process through all this information. They can't, I'm sure they have more than just one person reading it, but it still takes a while to process it and think about how they're going to do it. They have to program it. It's not like a switch that people think it is. Like
Right.
I know Pomage has like the hashtag flip the switch for the red dot on the map. But unfortunately, it's not that simple. You can't just flip a switch. It has to be programmed and tested and make sure everything's working correctly before it can be implemented into a patch. Make sure it's working correctly, because we don't. I mean, they could say they're bringing it back, but then maybe it's, they developed something a little wrong, and then like the red dots are always on or something.
Yeah.
But. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I can't say for sure how easy something is or how hard something is to do. But I mean, I know it's time consuming. So, I'm gonna try to be patient as possible, give them the time that they need. But I don't know, man. If something's not broke, why try to fix it?
That's right.
Like it doesn't do any good.
Nope. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I hope the future holds. I have high hopes for this game. I hope it holds great things. I mean, like they say, if they're adamant about the updates and stuff like that, it'll be great for us. If not, it won't be so great for us.
Yeah.
Now with those DLC maps coming out, they leaked and everything like that. If you want to talk about that a little bit, that
was the next thing I was going to talk about.
Oh, dude, I read your mind. That's I like the sound of that. That is all great things. Now, but like you've told me the other night in chat, you said, well, if we're gonna have Rust, or we're gonna have Transit, or we're gonna have one of those maps with 10,000 doors we can open and close.
Yep.
How is that gonna affect the maps that we love?
I mean, we can maybe talk about the maps, but as of right now, I wanna say spoiler warning. Potential spoiler warning, I should say. If you don't want to have any of the maps leaked, you want to be surprised when they're announced, skip ahead. Or you can end it right here. That's pretty much all the thoughts that we have about the beta, not the beta, the game itself at the moment. We're just going to be talking about right now of the future of the game, and maybe a little bit of the competitive scene, like how the new league it looks and stuff, and talk about that. But so we'll give you a little bit of time right now to leave if you don't want to be spoiled. But if you do, or you don't mind, you're really interested in wanting to know about these maps, stay tuned. So, I just wanted to give everyone a fair warning. So I have a list right here of the potential maps that will be added to Modern Warfare. Now, these are 6v6 and 10v10 maps. So on here, they do not exactly say which maps are what size. It just has the maps listed in alphabetical order, so we can only assume which ones are which. Now, there's some that you may recognize from previous Call of Duties. Those obviously are going to be 6v6, but the other ones may not be. So, starting with number 1, they have Anya Tak Crash, which is recurring from COD 4. Damn. Krovnik Farmland, Gulag, Hospital, Layover, Lowline, Lumber, Malishev, Mill Base, Oasis, Port, Prison, Ravine, Shipment, which is recurring from COD 4 as well, Shipment Day and Shipment Night. Now, this one I do know that supposedly is supposed to be also a gunfight map, not just 6v6, but it can potentially also be in gunfight since it's small.
Yeah.
Slums, which I believe is reoccurring from, is that MW2?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't know if I remember that one.
It sounds familiar. I just can't remember exactly which one. There's also Stadium, which kind of sounds familiar. I think they had a game where there was a stadium, but I don't know if it was in an Infinite War game.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sub Base also kind of sounds familiar, but I could be wrong. There's been a whole bunch of different maps that are kind of similar in names. There's been Super, Urzikstan, Torres, Transit, like you had mentioned earlier, and then TV Station, which I know there was also a TV Station map in, I think it was Black Ops 3, but I don't think it's that game, obviously, because that's Treyarch. But
no, it wasn't Black Ops 3.
It was or wasn't?
Was not. No, I don't remember a TV
Oh,
Station.
no. It was
map.
COD 4 Remastered.
Was that a DLC map?
That's what it was. It was a DLC map for COD 4
Yeah,
Remastered.
you see, I didn't play the DLC for that game, so I never played that map before.
I knew it sounded familiar. Okay. I just remembered because I played a lot of Black Ops 3 and COD 4 at the same time. So I couldn't remember which one was which. Yeah. So, yeah. As we were talking about... Oh, and Rust was the other one. I don't know how I missed that one. Rust is also supposedly going to be a 2v2 gunfight map as well as a 6v6. So, going off of these, we know Crash very well. We know that's been one of the most popular maps since Modern Warfare's been out. It's been remastered. It's been a DLC map. It's been reoccurring. I think Terminal was also another map that was supposedly leaked. I saw two different lists, but that was the one that had a lot of them on. The other one just had like 5. So I don't know if maybe that other list had the ones that are coming out first. I don't know. But supposedly that one's coming back, which is one of my favorite maps from MW2. But what I was talking about with Cooper the other day about Crash was that we know it very well. And if it's a 1-for-1 remake, just looked prettier, more updated, that would be great, you know? But do we really trust them to just make it 1-for-1 and not add new shit to it? I mean, even if they do remake it 1-for-1, they might add doors. They might add a couple more windows in a couple of buildings. I don't know if I really want that.
No, honestly, I would love if it would just be exactly how it used to be. If it's exactly carbon copy, just, the updated graphics and everything like that, that would be amazing. I hope that's what's going to happen. But we don't know what the future holds.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking of, there's that building right in between that alleyway and that midsection where you can cross between. Mm-hmm. I'm like thinking, man, they might add an extra room right there or a window or something. They could also even add in that building in the middle that you can kind of tuck in, like in that little covered section leading up to like the helicopter in the middle. Yeah. And that overlook where a lot of snipers are that overlooks the alleyway. Uh-huh. They might open up that building potentially, which would be so chaotic, especially if it looks over all sides.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. But we'll have to see. We'll have to just wait and see and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
like with the rest of this game, just hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all we can do. And I mean, honestly, it would bring in some people's dreams back, man. Some nostalgia trips are going to be happening on.
A lot of people are coming back for the first time in years to play this Call of Duty because it's going back to original boots on the ground. People are really excited about it.
Modern weapons.
This is currently the #1 best-selling Call of Duty game on PS4 and Xbox One. This is the highest one of the new gen systems. It outsold Black Ops 4 from previous years. It outsold World War II, which were the top 2 games prior. And I think Black Ops 3 might have been number 3 at the time. Now it sits at number 4. Maybe Ghost was.
Then again, I could you also have a lot of people who cancel their pre-order, though.
Maybe so. After they played the beta, they might have.
I did see a good bit of people saying that they were trying to boycott it on various social websites and stuff like that. But it's like, at that point, to me, that's just... And then you can do about that.
Sold like 600 million copies or something crazy like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like we said, a lot of nostalgia, man. Rust and Transit, all those great maps. People, I know y'all for... I mean, I didn't play Modern Warfare 2 as much as all of y'all did, but I did play just a little bit. But all those maps are going to bring so many memories back, and hopefully it's going to be just the same. The maps are going to be just the same.
I really wish they would bring back High Rise. That was a good map on MW2 as well. That was something that Chaz and I and Andrew and a lot of our friends from high school just played in private matches all day long, every day. Just private match, 6v6, search and destroy, snipers only. It was fun. It was great.
And, did Rust too.
Rust was kind of like that 2v2, or like if people were arguing, that's where you settled all your scores.
That's where you settled it.
Yeah. Now, in this one, you'll be Xbox and PlayStation will be able to do it together for one last duking out. I'm sure a lot of fanboys are going to be happy about that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I can give two shits, but
Yeah.
back in the day, that was the thing, All right, so over the past couple weeks, even leading up to the Call of Duty Modern Warfare launch, they have been announcing the Call of Duty franchise league teams for this year's season. And there's 12 different teams. And I will go in alphabetical order as it is listed. The first team is Atlanta FaZe, which the roster consists of Celium, Priesta, ABZ, Simp, and Major Maniac. Chicago Huntsman, which is the roster of Scump, Formal, Arcides, Envoy, and Gunless. Dallas Empire, which consists of Crimsix, Clayster, Hook, Shotzi, and Illy. The Florida Mutineers, which has not announced their roster yet. The London Royal Ravens, which is Wuskin, Scraps, Dylan, Jerd, Rated. Los Angeles Gorillas, which as of right now is Aches, Aqua, Decimate, and I think they just announced, today before this article, was Lacefield. Minnesota Rocker, or Roker, I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced, is Assault, GodRx, Silly, Alex, Asim, Exceed, and Tiny. I don't know who Tiny is. He must be new.
Yeah.
New York Subliners, which is Zuma, Temp, Accuracy, Zero, Attach, and Censor. Boy Doug over there. That dude. Optic Gaming, which is the second team of Los Angeles, which is Dashy, TJ Haley, Kenny, Slasher, and JCap. Paris Legion, which is Luca, Shocks, Dens, Kismet, Phantoms, Zed, and Breezy. Or Brezzy. Bresny? Brezzy. I'm not 100% sure. The Seattle Surge, which is Karma, Enable, Octane, Slacked, and Apathy. And then Toronto Ultra, which is Looney, Methods, Brack, Lucky, Metals, Kleenex, Classic, Cammy, Bance, and Mayhem. I think they're the only team so far that has a complete roster. Everyone else has just their starting five, or they haven't announced everyone yet. I think the only other one that has more than the five is the New York team with Doug. But looking at this, dude, this season's going to be pretty crazy. I'm excited for it. These teams are stacked.
Yeah, and honestly, it's interesting to see our old favorite optics disbanded and all in different parts of the country. Well, Group 6 is still in Texas, but
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are still in Texas per se, but they're going to be playing for different teams.
Right.
But man, FaZe is looking nasty. They have all the Tiny Terrors with Simp, Abizi, Major Maniac, Priesta, Celium. All those guys are, the short guys, but they can fucking play.
Tiny Terrors.
The Tiny Terrors. Huntsman looks solid. Scump, Formal, Arcides, Envoy, Gunless.
Yep.
The only problem I can see with them is that a lot of these guys have teamed in the past. They've had issues in the past on prior teams.
Yeah.
They kind of play with their emotions a lot. Like, they're a very emotional based team. Like, you can tell if they're not having a good game, like they just kind of get in a slump. But if they're playing good, like, they're good.
Right.
You can definitely see that with players like Scump and Gunless, but and sometimes Formal. But Otherwise,
Former's a real
if
quiet
they
guy.
gel together, dude, they're gonna be nasty. As of right now, from what I've been hearing, Dallas has been doing really good on land scrims. I mean, you got the veterans Crim 6 and Clayster. You got Hook.
Yeah.
With the new guns, Shotzi and Illy, who I've heard have been pretty nasty in S&D. There's some like up and comers. In Europe, London probably looks like the better one compared to Paris at the moment, I would say. The New York team could be pretty good. They have potential. See how well they gel together, though. Optic also kind of looks pretty solid. And Seattle Surge looks really good. I mean, you got Karma, Enable, Octane, Slacked, Apathy. They look like they could be a top contender teams. Like, there's a lot of these teams where, like, they can be... A lot of them are top tier, I would say. I don't think you're going to have, like, a lot of teams that are just going to be, like, bad. Where it used to be in the past where it was just, like, you had these top, like, 5 teams and everyone else was just kind of, like, mediocre. I think, honestly, franchise was good for... watch like the game, like the teams as a whole, just like having more diversity and just I think having closer games in general compared to just having one or two like really stacked teams, because a lot of times those were like the teams that they just had more money, so they were able to get more of the players, whereas like now all these franchises can get whoever they want for the most part.
That's correct.
So I think it just evens the playing field a little bit, but I'm excited. I like a little shake and bake, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Little
always
mix
good.
up. As far as what team I'm going to be rooting for, I don't know, man. It's between Chicago and Seattle, I would say. But I don't hate any of these teams,
No. I gotta go with my boy Formal. Wherever he goes is where I want to go.
That's fair.
I love Formal, so I always did. I used to watch it. We've gone to COD World League when it came to our home state, but I mean, man, like,
yeah, you're the reason they lost, dude.
Yeah, because I took a selfie with Formal, man. It's horrible. I met him outside. I know it's my fault.
You rubbed the bad juju on them, and they broke up.
Yeah, I know.
Broke up because you had to go and talk to Formal.
That's Chaz's theory on everything. I'm the reason of Optic's downfall, but whatever. But no, I've watched his stream. Like, I used to watch him stream every night when he was in that streaming schedule of streaming all the time and stuff. I love him, so I think I'm gonna definitely just go. I'm gonna stay with my boy. Scump. I love Scump. He was my favorite player at one time.
He's a great personality.
Scump. Yeah,
he's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, and I used to love to watch him stream, but Scump's like, he's had his share of problems, man. Like, honestly, just he brought his outside personal life way too much into his job, which is playing COD and being good and winning matches and winning tournaments, and he had all kind of drama with the players, his teammates and stuff. What I'm getting at is that it made me kind of like him less over the years, Yeah,
it's just interesting because like it's such a demanding job.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you could be like, oh, well, you're playing Call of Duty all day. It's like, yeah, but I mean, you're streaming and scrimming for hours all day, and that's like time that you're kind of spending by yourself, and you're not with your significant other or whatever. So it's hard to balance that,
friends. No, for sure, you're right.
It's hard to balance that in a normal job, normal life. So
yeah,
I get it, and sometimes you kind of have to worry about your personal life more than your job. Sometimes it just kind of depends, It depends on your situation. Every situation's different, but that's how life is.
Yeah.
But regardless, I'm really excited for the season. Those are going to be my two teams that I'll probably root for. I'm a fan of Hex and what he's done for the COD community as a whole. So wherever he's going, I'll be rooting him and his team. Same as you, though. I mean, I was a fan of Optic for since its inception, pretty much. So, also a fan of like Scump and Formal, Karma. So that's kind of why I'm split between those two teams for sure. There's nothing against Dallas Empire. I mean, I like Krim. I like Clay. Hook's very talented. It's just I don't really know the other two guys, so it's hard for me to just be like, oh yeah, I like this team when it's like I don't have a connection with them yet. But you know, it's like I almost don't want to. It's like I want to root for everyone. Like all the teams are just like stacked with talent and stuff, you know.
Yeah, of course.
It's more of like I'm a fan of the game first, and then like a fan of certain players second. Is what it's like, but yeah, I'm excited for when that starts. But I think they start in January, so we got a little bit of time.
Yep.
All right, well I think that's pretty much it, man. We talked a lot of Call of Duty. Enough for almost 2 episodes, man. We talked a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked enough to have touched on almost everything, just about.
Yeah. You know, if we have some thoughts about it later on, you know, like the game is just outstanding if they fix it, or if it gets worse, we'll probably mention it later on in another podcast. But I think that's all we have to say about Call of Duty for quite some time.
Yep. I'm about ready to go play now.
Now we're gonna get off and go play some more Call of Duty.
Yep.
So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. If you're here on Spotify or Apple Podcast, don't forget to subscribe or follow those outlets as well. We'd appreciate that, and leave a 5-star rating, please. Leave some ratings, some comments. That'll help us out getting suggested or found on Apple Podcasts on suggestions. If you're here on YouTube, don't forget to Cooper.
Like and subscribe and ring that bell. Ding, ding, y'all.
Yeah, that will really help us out. Get the channel and the video out there in the open for people to tune in and try to grow Tech Rich as a whole. And start a little community up, you know? But, yeah. So we'll catch y'all again next week, hopefully. And thanks again for tuning in.
Later.
Bye. We're only shitting because we care.
That's it. That's all.
If we didn't love Call of Duty, we would not be giving a shit.
Yeah, we wouldn't care. You're right.